fougere, fern, feather, and a guy named Gillette. All today on Barber Dave Shaves and Such. Hey everybody, welcome and have a blessed Sunday to you. Hope everybody had a good week. For those of you folks in the Midwest, Missouri, and the South, our prayers are with you. I know you guys have been dealing with some pretty nasty weather. And so hopefully you guys are all safe and everything else. Today it's all about ferns, fougere, and then an experiment that I'm doing with a product from Gillette. And I'll explain more of that a little bit later. Today is going to be a DE shave because I've got some errands I've got to run today before our next off-road adventure. And I do appreciate the comments that you guys wrote on that. Looking forward to a Zoom call today with the guys from the Cadre. And speaking of the Cadre, www.theshavingcadre.com. Come and visit us. We feel that we're the finest gentlemanly forum on the interwebs regarding shaving and other pursuits. Plus, big hurrah. Sorry I don't have any confetti, but we just celebrated yesterday our 7th anniversary in existence. So I want to acknowledge Chris Lindsay and Chad Vargo, my partners in this endeavor, and as well as all of the members of the Shaving Cadre. You guys are the lifeblood of the forum, and we appreciate it. So why don't you join if you haven't joined so already? Also, don't forget, Drinks and Daves, 5 p.m. Pacific, every Monday, although we're not going to have any for this week or next week, I believe, because I've got more dental stuff to deal with. And if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please hit that like button, that subscribe button, send your comments in, because when we get to 2,000 subscribers, which we're not too far away from, we're going to be giving away a pretty good swag bag, including a watch. The razor I'm using today, I have not used in a long time. It is probably my most mild razor. Now, obviously, if you put a feather blade, it's the Feather ASD2, but if you put a feather blade in it, it makes it a little bit more aggressive, but not much. Where I noticed the most efficiency in years past is with a Voskhod blade. But I recently, well, not recently, but I started using Persona Lab Blues, or I think they're Persona Super or whatever they are. And that's been my kind of my go-to DE blade from now on. I've got a ton of DE blades, and I found that this one is the smoothest and the most efficient. And it feels really good. This is a brand new blade in here, by the way. But the benefit of the ASD2, it's a nice matte, solid stainless steel, very well constructed, mild, very mild. But again, it's one of those razors where you don't have to think too much about it. You just kind of put it to your face and let it do the work. We've had some pretty wacky weather lately. We had really high winds on Thursday night going into Friday morning. Almost hurricane force. Some of the gusts were clocked at over 70 miles an hour. And there's a place called the Wilcox Playa. Well, actually, I should say there's two areas in Arizona where winds can be really treacherous. One is in the what they call the Picacho Peak area, which is between here and Phoenix, and a lot of cotton farms and so forth. And the other place is called the Wilcox Playa, which used to be a prehistoric lake, and it's now, different agricultural stuff, but a lot of bare land. And when the winds really kick up, it picks up the dust. Growing up, we always knew them as dust storms, and I didn't know the term haboob, which is fun to say anyway, until I was in the military. And then now that's the catchphrase for dust storms now is, oh, there's a haboob. Well, one of the largest pileups in history, and these are both along a stretch of Interstate 10, between one going towards Phoenix, the other one going towards the New Mexico state line. And one of the largest pileups in history occurred there. And sadly, with the winds the way they were, there was another huge pileup in the Wilcox Playa. Sadly, some people passed away. And although there was not a pileup in the Picacho area, it was like a 3-hour delay. And the problem that happens is people, as much as the news tells them, we tell them, those of us that have been in the Southwest our entire lives, is if you run into a dust storm, believe it or not, putting your brakes on is the worst thing in the world, because visibility can get down to 50 feet. Well, if you put your brake lights on, anybody who's behind you is thinking you're moving, and right into the ass end of you. So what is recommended, and what we all do, is you pull as far over to the right as you feasibly can, which includes right on the shoulder, and even a little bit off the shoulder. Take your foot off the brake. Turn your lights off. Now, that doesn't prevent somebody from running into the back of you, but at least they're not going to be looking for that. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they freak out when they get into a dust storm. They stop and they keep their foot on the brake thinking that, people will see them behind. It doesn't happen that way. And that's what happened here. It does seem counterproductive to pull off the road and turn your lights off and take your foot off the brake. But in those type of visibility conditions, not being seen is a good thing. So yeah, we had sustained winds of between 40 and 50, and then we had gusts of 70. Even, I think there was one report of even 80 miles an hour. So it was a rough night, and it went, usually out here in the Southwest, when the sun goes down, the winds die down. This didn't happen this time. And we had been in the 80s, and then all of a sudden we're in the 40s, and we had snow flurries. But that night, sleep was hard to come by, because it felt like your roof was being ripped off. But we made it through. And then we had 2 days of pretty heavy rain, which we needed, and a couple of snow flurries here and there. And then talk about wacky weather. Today is going to be in the 70s, and tomorrow is going to be in the mid-80s. So go figure. Yeah, the one thing about the feather, I love it. It's a smooth shave, but there's quite a bit of cleanup because it's so mild, at least for my beard. I know people that like really mild razors love it because it's so good to use. And traditionally, the alum, you don't even feel anything. I may feel a little bit because it was a brand new blade, but no, nothing. I mean, zero. Which is rare for me because I have a tendency to be a little more heavy-handed than some. But let's get cleaned up here and we'll go over the rest of the stuff. So I hope all your shaves and all your family life and everything is going good. Again, those folks that are in the South and Midwest. I certainly hope you guys are safe, because I was reading that there was some pretty nasty pileups and people lost their lives. At last I had heard, like 31 people had lost their lives. And I think that was in this I know some people lost their lives in Mississippi and in Missouri. And of course, just north of us in Utah, Chad's neck of the woods, they've not had a break from winter in months. Just unbelievable. So again, the razor we use today is the Feather ASD2. Been around a long time. It was kind of a groundbreaking razor when it first came out. A lot of people said, "Why would you spend $200 on a DE razor?" But it's just a fantastic razor. The brush today is the Sorrentino Pillars of Creation. Just a beautiful, beautiful brush with a AMAX synthetic, fashioned by my good buddy Eric Sorrentino. Okay, so I said earlier that I was doing an experiment with some Gillette stuff. Oh, and obviously the Fern and Fougere, Martin Nicandre, Fougere, love this stuff, and I'm going to be getting some more of their product for sure. I was talking about an experiment that I did with Gillette. Well, a widely known aftershave that is used is Nivea 2-in-1. Now, there's two types. The Nivea 2-in-1 that's the cream, and then there's the Nivea 2-in-1 that has two separate layers that, and I don't have any right now, that you shake up. And if you watch Nurse Dave's video, he uses it every day. The problem with that is it's fantastic, but it's sourced out of Europe, and it can be a pain in the butt to get, and I don't have any right now. Hint, hint, Nurse Dave. But I wanted to find an alternative to that, and I also wanted to find an alternative because I use aftershaves and fragrances in the shop every day. However, using Proraso or Sapota Ficcio Verosino can get quite expensive because I'm using this every haircut for for around the ear and on the neck as far as when I shave, and I do need an antiseptic. Some people, I just use basic alcohol, a cleaning alcohol, because they don't want any fragrance. But I wanted to find something that I could use because I could go through a bottle of Proraso in a day and a half. That gets expensive. So I wanted to find an alternative that I could use between 10 and 30 times a day, depending on how many shaves and haircuts and edgings that I'm doing. So I had seen this, and this has been around a long time. I know it's very popular. And I had seen this in the drugstore. It's cheap. I have $3, $3.49, something like that. And it's Gillette Aftershave Gel. Now, the beauty of a gel is you can use a lot, and you use a little bit, and it goes a long way. So I wanted to do some testing. So I've been using it both in the shop and at home for the last week and a half. And I got to say, it's pretty good. It's not quite the Nivea 2-in-1, but it's pretty close. And it's basically a thick gel. So basically, you can use that much. And so from a cost-effective standpoint, on cost per use, it's great. It's got a nice, fresh, clean fragrance to it. It emulsifies very, very quick. I don't use it in place of other aftershaves. It's more of a layer. But one of my favorite gel aftershaves is the Omega Aqua. Again, not easy to find and not exactly inexpensive. This is really close. I would put this somewhere in between that gel and the Nivea 2-in-1. But I think I'm going to start using it in the shop almost exclusively because, like I said, it's cheap. I can buy it in bulk, and it leaves the face really, really nice. So if you haven't tried it yet, and I think Matt Lukey3262, he uses this all the time. There's a few others. I'm not a big fan of Gillette products for obvious reasons, because I think they sold out as far as wet shavers are concerned. But this one is not too bad. You can find it in every drugstore, every supermarket. And so I think I'll probably start using this both here and in the shop. Probably exclusively. Okay, so that's the Gillette. Now, back to the Ferns and Fougere. Going to be using 1445 aftershave balm, and like I said, I use the Gillette as a base layer and then add this on top of it. Now, a lot of people say, well, doesn't that make it kind of cloying and add clogging your pores and stuff like that? No, both of these emulsify very quick, and I find that layering them really helps. And it just makes the face feel smooth. I'm going to forego the talc today because I've got some other things I need to do. But normally, well, you know what? I can't. Because I know what's loaded in here is English fern. So, yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, that was worth it. Okay, and then for our fragrance today, we are using Castle and Forbes 1445, just a companion to the Aftershave Balm. This is just wonderful. Like I said, it is definitely a good replacement for English fern. A little bit sharper, but still very nice. Guess what, guys? That's it. That's the shave for today. I certainly appreciate you being here with us. Sorry, my video schedule has been kind of off lately, but we'll get back on track a little bit better. So anyhow, that's our ferns, feathers, fougères, and a little bit of Gillette shave today. I hope everybody has a blessed Sunday. Have a good Monday and Tuesday. Hopefully we'll see you then. I'm Barber Dave. This has been Barber Dave Shaves and Such. Have a great day.